Hey, this is John from Good Name Gone. So, I've been doing these videos, warning people about identity theft, different ways to protect yourself from identity theft, updating you on breaches, whatever. I mean, identity theft is kind of my thing because it happened to me. And I'm going to share my story now so that you can understand why I do what I do. Now, real quick, I ask a couple of things. One, in the comment section later, I'm going to ask you a question. What would you do? So in the comment section, put what you would do if you were in my shoes. And second, share, please. Just pass it on to the next person. Maybe they've got a better idea. I don't know. So anyways, all right, so here's where it all starts. I was arrested in 1991 for criminal trespassing. It was a stupid arrest. I went to pick up a friend from school, and he went to a different high school. I went to pick him up. I was sitting in the parking lot. I got there like 5 minutes early. Me and a couple of friends. Police came up, or campus police, I believe. They came up and they said, hey, why aren't you in class? I said, I don't go to school here. Boom. They had me arrested for trespassing. It was dumb. It got dismissed immediately, but I did get booked. Fingerprinted, mugshot, all that stuff. It was pretty scary because, never been arrested before. It was my first time, only time, whatever. So I was like, cool, got dismissed, on my way. Through my travels, I ended up joining the Navy, did a few years there, blah, blah, blah. Come back home in 1997, back in El Paso. In 1997, apparently, this guy by the name of Jason Michael Newton got arrested for a robbery or something at a Target. It says robbery at Target. I don't know what he did. I don't know if he robbed a Target or if he mugged somebody in the parking lot or wrote a badge. I don't know what he actually did, but he got arrested for a robbery. And somehow or another, he got confused with me. Now, it's kind of funny that he got confused as me because he had a long record. He was in the system, and he was actually a fugitive for a murder charge in Plano, Texas, which is why he was hiding out in El Paso in the first place. Don't know how, whatever. The only reason I found out is because I got fired from a job that I just got hired from before, and it was over my background check, and they said, as far as we know, it looks like you're in jail right now. And I made a couple of jokes about escaping to come to work and blah, 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 and they were like, no, we're serious, you need to go get this checked out. And I did. And yep, there was a guy in jail under my name, and they said he, was in the jail under my name, had my birthday, social security number, all this stuff. And I was like, well, that's not possible. Let me see who he is or whatever. They showed me a picture of him. I recognized him, kind of. I didn't know his name fully, but I made some phone calls. I found out, hey, this guy's name is Jason Newton. They went and verified. They gave me paperwork saying that, I had no charges on file, that they had taken care of it. And I still have the paperwork to this day, but I have the only copy. Craziness. So I went on about my business. I tried to go get my job back, but they had a policy that they could redo things in 6 months, whatever. Okay. Long story short, that paperwork never got filed. The dude pled guilty to the charge and was on probation. Well, technically, I was on probation and ended up having warrants out for my arrest for not going to see my probation officer. But by that time, I was already living in Virginia, had no idea that this was going on. So this guy, he gets out. He has all my information on his arrest sheet somehow. And I guess he went on a crime spree because a few months later, he gets busted for, let's see, what was it? It was possession of narcotics, possession of stolen vehicle, evading police, and something else. And this time, he gets bonded out somehow. He goes to jail under my name again. It gives him all my information. And he's already in the system as me. Pretty easy to do. And boom. Okay. So this time he gets bonded out. He never goes back to court. I get convicted for all these crimes, not knowing it. I'm in Virginia. I have no idea what's going on. And they have warrants out for my arrest, bench warrants or whatever. I think they said that was convicted in absence or something like that. Anyways, so Then eventually he gets caught somewhere else doing something else, and they verify who he really is, and he goes to prison for the murder charge in Plano, Texas, which also ended up being on my record because I was his alias. And that's about it as far as that goes. Meanwhile, I have no idea this is going on. I can't get jobs. I have no idea why. They are, everywhere I applied, they're saying no. And there was jobs that I was way overqualified for by this time because I was just after a while, I'm scraping by trying to get anything I can get. Until finally somebody told me, do you know what's on your record? And I was like, no. And they said, it looks like here it says that you're in prison for murder. It's like, what? Yeah, crazy, right? Anyways, so all that ends up just being the beginning. I start investigating everything, and I'm trying to get my record cleared. And I'm calling people. I'm trying to figure it all out, and how are we going to get this cleared? And they're telling me it can't be cleared. And they fought me for a couple of years. I had to get people on my side, advocates and everything, going to them and saying, you have to clear this guy. You have to. You have to expunge his record. And finally, the city of El Paso expunges my record. They don't even charge me. I'm grateful for that. But as I'm investigating all this, I look at the arrest sheet of the first time he got arrested. It says that they verified that he was me by fingerprints through DPS and through the FBI. Obviously a lie because he had a prior record. And the things just don't add up. I'm 5'11". This guy's like 6'3". I weigh about 170 pounds. He weighs about 240. I got blue eyes. He's got green eyes. I've got brown hair. He's got blonde hair. Scars are different. He had different tattoos. There's no way that this guy could be confused as me. But the police verified it. So eventually I sue, right? I get my record cleared. Right after I get my record cleared, I told them straight up, I'm suing you guys. I got an attorney, and we go through the process. I ended up losing the lawsuit because of statute of limitations. Apparently, the information was hidden from me for too long for me to actually sue. And that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but that's what happened. And there was a couple of other times. The case got dismissed like 4 different times, 3 times, whatever. And it was, one time was for that, another time was because it was city employees that filed on county paperwork, so I should be suing the city. Then I sued the city, and the city said, well, it was county paperwork, you should be suing the county, and back and forth, and there was always an excuse. Then I even went through, I requested, some kind of payoff. I sent an email to the mayor. That didn't work. He actually referred me to an attorney, and the city attorney basically said, I'll investigate, and then they just dropped it. Eventually it went to city council after I kept pressuring, and the council voted to fight me in court instead of paying me off or whatever. And it was like a close vote, like 5-3 the first time. The second time that we went in front of city council, they went behind closed doors to vote. I have no idea what they voted on. So I got nothing, right? So during that time, I couldn't get a job. I ended up, during this whole time that I had all this on my record, I ended up losing my job. I ended up dropping out of school because I was handling this and I was working 2 jobs. These jobs were low-level jobs. These are places that did not do background checks, like, believe it or not, Domino's Pizza, Papa John's, stuff like that. They don't do background checks on their drivers. They should probably change that. They're going to people's houses. But I took advantage of it. I deliver pizzas. I support my family off of delivering pizzas. For real. Family of 4. I support them off of delivering pizzas. Also support them off of tending bar. I was a bartender at locally, privately owned bars that didn't do background checks. But anyways, people found out about this little by little, and people used it against me, ex-employers, stuff like that. I go in for another job, and they would say, oh, well, you better check his background check because he's got all this stuff on his record. And, it was pretty trying. Now, eventually, my record was cleared. It did come up recently, a few years ago. I was applying for an apartment or whatever, and it came up that I was convicted of murder and stuff, but whatever. Anyways, I never got an apology from the city of El Paso. Now, they did at one time admit that that this all happened. They admitted that they messed up. They admitted that, whatever, but never said they were sorry, never apologized, never offered any kind of compensation. And I don't know. It doesn't sit well with me. Now, a lot of people tell me I should let it go. And I feel like, for the most part, I have let it go. I've got a decent job now, and things are okay. I mean, we make it. It's not the career path that I would have chosen for myself, but it's what I fell into. And, things are okay. But it just doesn't sit right with me. I mean, not even an apology, right? So that's where I come to the question. What would you do? I mean, I've gotten suggestions before. Somebody said, why don't you do a GoFundMe page? And I'm like, well, first of all, I'm not a charity case. Second of all, it's not anybody else's responsibility other than the people who are involved. Right? I mean, do you agree? So I would really, really like, first of all, I would really like an apology. And second of all, I think I'm owed something. I mean, I'm not trying to get millions. I did in the lawsuit. Yeah, I sued for a lot. I sued for like $7.5 million. But right now, I don't care. Something. Make me whole. That's the thing. So what would you do? Would you pressure the city? I tried that. It didn't work. Would you embarrass them? Well, haven't really gone that route yet, but I guess I'm kind of doing that now, right? I don't know. I'm out of ideas. So please, comment below. Tell me what you would do if you have any idea. I can't sue them again. Statute of limitations, and it's been basically in court told me that I'm not allowed to sue anymore. I'm not allowed to bring up any more lawsuits. I'm at a loss. So what I am doing now, I'm warning to other people about this could happen to you. Yes, if you're experiencing anything like I've experienced, do a background check on yourself. Don't do it by fingerprints, because your fingerprints were not involved. My fingerprints were not involved. If I do a fingerprint check, even during all these times, if I went and did a background check on myself by fingerprints, I came up clean, because my fingerprints were not in the system for any crimes. But when I did a background check by social security number, by date of birth, by my name, all these crimes came up. And I'm still in the FBI file as this criminal, because they won't change it just in case for some reason he might get out of prison. They want to be able to track him by me being his alias or something ridiculous like that. What do I do? Help me out. All right, thanks. Pass this along. Somebody might have an idea. Somebody might get this video to the right people in El Paso, and they might just say, you know what, we owe this guy something. They might write me a check. I don't know. They might issue an apology. I would love a public apology, because I deserve one. Thanks. Cheers.